Alright, another day and the same essay. So, yesterday we've been going through this essay and we have covered up to 8 pages. But today we are not only going to study that, we are also have we also have the notes to prepare for that. So, since we are starting the notes from starting, we will read it again. We'll skim through it and just write whatever is relevant and just get over with it, right? And yeah, let's get started. So here we go. How to do great work by Paul Graham. And this is so here he's talking about ambitious people, right? Like you and me, who are really ambitious about doing great work, right? It's not about just hard work, but great work. We really want to work. We are not just working for the sake of working. We are so ambitious and very interested to do work, right? So the first step to actually do great work is to choose what to work on, right? And for choosing what to work on, there are three qualities. One, choosing something that has aptitude, that you have aptitude for, that is, you're smart enough for doing that work. And the second one is the deep interest that you have in it. And the third one is scope of the great work. Scope, so how feasible it is in the future. It's useless to work on something that will be obsolete in maybe in a year or 10 years. It's useless, right? Maybe 10 years is actually worth it, but still it's less worth than something if you can find work which can last forever, right? For hundreds of years probably. So the best work is where it is feasible for years. Even people after 100 years will be acknowledging that work as great work, or even use that work in their daily lives, right? So it's useful even after 100 years. That means it is the definition of great work and you have succeeded. So this should be going into the notes. Copy, paste. Let's go. This is all done. So choose what interests you the most, right? So you're choosing what interests you the most, and he talks about curiosity and excitement in work. The more curious you are, the more excited you are, the better work you'll be doing, right? So the more ambitious you are, the more curious you will be in some subject. The more curious you are, the more excited you will be to do the work, and the more excited you are, the long you will be working, the hard you will be working, right? First, choosing the field you should be working on, and that will be happening in two ways, right? One is to actually work on something, just pick it random, get into it, get good at it, and you'll see it yourself. Check if you're excited about it, if you're interested in it, and you'll know, right? That's one way. And there is another way where you'll be already having things to work on, right? So just get started with whatever is at your hand. Check how good it is, how it aligns to your interests, and keep going, right? If it doesn't align, just leave it there and switch to the next one and explore that one. If that doesn't work, switch to the next one. Since you're young, you can take that risk. So how to do great work? So first thing, great work happens when you are actually working on your own projects, right? If you're working on your own projects, great work happens then and there. That's what he's talking about here. So in practice, you don't have to worry much about the third criterion, ambitious people or anything. Okay, this is all done. That sounds straightforward, but quite often difficult. Yeah, it's hard to figure out what to work on by working. So look at this. The way to figure out what to work on is by working. If you're not sure what to work on, guess. Just pick something and get going. You'll probably guess wrong sometime, but that's fine. It's good to know about multiple things, but some of the best discoveries come from noticing these connections between different fields, and that's really important, right? This should be bold. Something get going. This goes bold, and by working, what to work on is what you decide. So first thing, what you're interested in. So choose what you're interested in based on things around you, your interests, and what you want to be, right? Then after you choose that, start exploring it. And how do you start exploring it? By actually working on it. And how do you work on it? By actually starting your personal projects. So once your personal project becomes bigger, the more bigger it gets, what happens is that you'll not feel any stress about it, because you'll be working on your project and everything that comes out of it will be yours. So you're not working for somebody else, you're not working longer for somebody else. Like if you're working for 10 years of your life for somebody else, that 10% of your life you're sacrificing for somebody else's dream, right? Hence, if you're working on your own projects for 10 years, that's you working on your passion. That is why personal projects are significantly effective in getting better at something or doing great work, because if you're working on your project with that amount of passion, what happens is you'll automatically get interest in it, get more curious, get more excited about it as the project grows bigger and bigger, because you've been investing in it, and every day it gets exciting as well as motivating, right? Rather than working for somebody else for 10 years and all you will feel is you're wasting your time for somebody else and you can't work on it properly. Personal projects are the best to actually work and to do great work, right? Next one. What is the most important thing while you are working? So how do you work? You chose the field, you chose what to work on. Now how do you work? How do you do the great work? That is what we should be discussing right now. There we go. So another thing about what to work on is first get great at it, right? So choose a field, get the knowledge, and get great at it. How do you get the knowledge? Again, personal projects, and how the personal projects are getting better, right? These personal projects evolve, or even new projects will come up. How do the new projects? How can you make sure that the new projects are worth it, right? So starting, you'll be having silly projects just for the sake of gaining the knowledge, right? After you gain the knowledge, after you come to the frontier of that skill, what happens is that you'll be starting to notice gaps in that skill set. All right, so in that market or whatever it is, you will start to notice gaps or problems. Once you notice them, you just have to pick that problem and check if you're excited to solve that problem, and if there is a way to solve that problem, and why everybody else is ignoring that problem, right? Once you see that, you can start working on it, and there are, how can you say that one project is more important or more better than the different other projects? So it depends on the problem it is solving, right? It depends on the field it is working on. It depends on the problem statement or core principle of that project, right? What you are building, or what is it solving, what is the gap it is filling in, and how do you know about it, right? So firstly, projects can be of two types: initial stage projects, stage project. These are just for the sake of working on it, knowledge, get better at your craft doing this. Sometimes projects might end up becoming projects of great work. These are the projects that you choose after you are great at your craft, after you are in the frontier of that field. You will start doing great work in it through these projects. So how to choose, or what are great work projects? Or you can just say, I think he'll be talking about how to find them, how to find great work projects, right? Okay, why is this coming here? Anyway, the first way is actually to just explore the gaps, right? Once you are great at your craft, you will notice gaps, problems, pain points. You pick those up and start solving them. The better, stranger the solution problem, the better, because mainly there are very less people who actually try to solve them, and less competition, but the pain point is still there, so you still get paid, but you choose the price because you become a monopoly if you succeed. And don't care about others, because not everybody is as expert as you are you, or even the vision like you. Most of the people overlook these problems. They get used to them, unlike you. Next, boldly chase outlier ideas. So these are called as outlier ideas. The more outlier they are, the more better it is. So can you hear me? Can you hear me properly? I think you can. Yeah, you can. Anyways, I never tested my stream yet. I don't know when I will, but I'm pretty busy these days. If you're excited about some possibility that everyone else ignores, you have enough expertise to say precisely what they all are overlooking. That's as good as that you'll find. 4 steps. Choose a field, learn enough to get to the frontier, notice gaps, explore promising ones. This is how practically everyone who's done great work has done it, from painters to physicists. Alright, so I just have to push it backward. More? No. Yeah. And steps 2 and 4 will require hard work. So the steps of noticing gaps, as well as this one, learn enough to get to the frontier and explore promising ones. These are hard and they take hard work, and this hard work only happens when you have interest, right? So step 4 and 3 will have hard work. Hard work means same amount of it, which requires insane amount of motivation, interest, curiosity, consistency, etc. Okay, I should just put this thing away, right? So the main reason it's hard is that you can't tell why most of the works are like, except by doing it, right? So the main reason it's hard to actually choose what to work on. You don't know how to do it unless you do it, right? Nature of ambition exacerbates this problem. Ambition comes from 2 forms. One that precisely inserts interest in the subject, and that grows out of it. People who do great work have a mix, and the more you have of the former, the harder it is to decide what to do. This is great. Alright. The education systems in most of the countries pretend that it's easy. They expect you to commit. Okay, this is just normal things. Assumption that you'll be magically guessing. Blah, 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 blah. What should you do if you're young, ambitious, but don't know what to work on? What you should be working on is just luck. Okay, this is a great thing. You need to take action. Knowing what you are born to do. Great work on requires luck. Most of the people who have done great work have stumbled into it by luck. All you can do is make sure that you are able to. How is that done? Explore multiple things. Explore fields of your interests as well as others. Make sure they are very diverse. So the more diverse it is, the more possibility that you are covering a lot of space where that could be there, right? So it can be a different one if you are just focused on one kind of field or the fields around it. Then maybe the luck which is hiding in a different kind of completely different field will never find you, right? So make sure that whatever you are exploring is very diverse, and once that happens, luck could be anywhere. Feel not just in the ones. So sure everywhere, and then there is hard work. Keep working hard and you will definitely get interested, find your love. How do you spell that? Yeah. Find your love of your life. Yeah. Faster, because the harder you work, the deeper you get into the field fast, and the faster you get, the faster you can decide if the field still excites you at its core. Is it still making you excited and curious even after working on it for so long, to be on the verge of being an expert? Once you do that, you will understand. If you are still excited about what you're working on, about that, then that has a chance, huge chance. Let's go. Yeah, when in doubt, you have to optimize for interestingness. Fields change as you learn more about them. The mathematics, what mathematicians do, for example, is very different from what you do in high school math classes. So you need to give different types of work a chance to show you what they are like. But a field should become interesting as you learn more about it. If it doesn't, it's probably not for you. So this is what I'm trying to say here, right? I'll just also insert this thing. Next. Don't worry if you find yourself interested in different things than other people. The stranger your tastes are in interestingness, the better. The stranger tastes are often strong ones, and the stronger taste for work means you'll be productive and you're more likely to find new things if you're looking for where you have looked before. If you have looked before, this is good. One sign that you're suited for some kind of work is when you like even the parts of the other. This is also a thing that should be noticed. Control and loyalty. This is a very important point. If you're making something for people, make sure it's something that they actually want. The best way to do this is, okay, now we get back to the project, right? Insert amount of it. Stranger the solution. Next one, the best. If you want to build for the people, build it for yourself. Work on the problems you face, solve them, and sell it to the people facing similar problem as you are. So once you spot the problem, validate it, and then start working on it. Since it's your problem, you will know enough about it. You are the person who knows the outcome should be like, what its value is. Yeah, he wrote something about it later. We will get back to that. Yeah, I hate this thing. What are you doing, Notion? Anyways. Now, once you find what to work on, it's time to actually work on it, right? How to work on it. And this is... Oh, what the fuck? Toggle heading to how to work on it, right? And where is it? How to find great work projects, how to work, and how to work on it, right? That's what you're gonna do. Simply work hard, excitedly, and something good will come out of it. Instead of making a plan and exaggerating it, you just stay to preserve certain invariants. Fuck it. Yo, what the fuck? Anyways, the trouble with planning is that it only works for achievements you can describe in advance. You can win gold medal or get rich by deciding as a child, then 10 years pursuing that goal. Okay, why am I reading this? I already read this already. Here are the headwinds, currents, and the head shoulders. These are the techniques of working. So there's a technique to work. Who wants to grow in the race strategy is not to plan too much. At each stage, do whatever seems more interesting and gives you the best options in the future. I call this approach staying up when this is how people who have done great work have done it. Even when you found something exciting to work on, working on it was always not straightforward. There will always be times working, but there is plenty of times that you are not like that. For example, when you want to work hard to damage your health, ideally contagious. Start working, you often find initial threshold or not a flaw in the character. Work has a sort of activation energy for different projects. So let me mistake yourself. You want to great over 5 minutes later, I have found something. Similar techniques for starting new projects. It's okay to lie yourself how to. For example, lots of great things began with how hard could it be. This is one case where the young have opportunity. They are more optimistic even though one of the sources of their optimism is ignorance. In this case, ignorance can sometimes beat knowledge. Try to finish what you started though. Even if it turns out to be more work than you expected, finishing things is not just an exercise of tidiness or self-discipline. In many projects, a lot of best work happens in what is meant to be the final stage. Cool. Importance of what you're working on, at least in your own mind. It helps you discover something new. It may turn out not have been a lie after all. Lie is excellent. So this is also a great thing. So when you are working, oftentimes you will feel that you're working on a silly thing, right? So exaggerating the importance of what you're working on will be a great thing to get motivation, as well as to discover something new that may turn out to be not a lie after all, right? Since there are 2 senses of starting work per day per project, procrastination. Is it? Yeah. This is grade 3. Here you'll be writing about there are 2 senses of program project. You put off starting and this project from year to year because of a lot not done. Yeah, this is important. Only reason so digestion is sitting here on or doing nothing. You're working industrialistly something else. So per project procrastination, that's it. All answer page. Only one way to do this is okay. Great work usually entails spending what would seem to most people an unreasonable amount of time on the problem. You can't think of it as a time or a cost. It will seem so high. You have to find something engaging as it's happening. There may be some jobs where you have to work diligently for years to find at things you hate before you get to the good part. This is not how great work happens. Great work happens by focusing consistently on something that you're genuinely interested in. When you pause to take stock, you're surprised how far you have come. So here is the thing. The work can take up more time and resources than you planned or expected. Don't think of it like an expenditure. It's just gonna feel too high then, and you will feel depressed on how you are not shipping anything. If you had to work on something that you hate for some years to get the part that you are passionate about, that's not how great work happens. Great work starts working on something you are genuinely interested in. If you hate it, then you are not into it. Good work. Exponential growth. Most people who do this based on conventional strategy, which was given and thinking about it, learning example is instant growth. Work in a single day might seem too less, but in a bigger picture, it's great work. The trouble of exponential growth is that the curve feels flat in the beginning. It isn't. It's still a wonderful exponential curve, but you can't grasp the intuitively, so we know the exponential and instead and give up. Really, if you hang in tight, you will end up with the results. Something that grows exponentially can be so valuable that because you don't try to be the best, you won't be even. And how do you work? You must always try to be the best in that. Good. If you don't, one direction where almost all the shows is the target is before falling short or It could be because ambition to be the best is quantitatively different from the ambition to be the good. Okay. Ambition to be the best is quantitatively different from the ambition to be good. So if you're trying to be good, it is a completely different ambition from trying to become best, right? The more ambition it is, the more motivated you will be, and the more productive you will get. Of economy scale here, though it may seem that you will be taking a heavy burden by trying to be the best, in practice you often end up net ahead. It's exciting and straightly liberating. It simplifies things in some ways. It's easier to try to be the best than try to be merely to be good. One way to aim high is to make sure something. Okay. Aiming to be the best. Aim to be the best. More productivity. More great work. Don't try to. Pitfalls to avoid. Pitfalls to avoid. So avoid affectation is very useful to answer in this course. So this is the first one. First one, avoid affectation. Let's bold it. So stop pretending to work hard. Look. Be a person. Copy of a person or thing, but actually be the person. With stuff rather than just looking like you are doing great work. You are bringing in the value. Affectation. Just impress people or yourself. Become a nod. Alright. Then there is intellectual dishonesty. Is just to stop. One way to avoid is to maintain slight positive pressure in the opposite direction. Maintain line. Be aggressively willing to admit that you're mistaken, and once you admit that you're mistaken, you are free till you can carry. Your tolerance isn't to be honest, to be unflexible, but in fact, it's a source of power to see new ideas. You need to be exceptionally sharp to see new ideas. You're trying to see more truth than others have seen so far. So how can you get sharp eyes? So you can carry. Anyways, another most important is honestness is informality. Informality is much more important. Formality. It's merely the absence of something. That means focusing on matters. Affectations are coming that certainly that you're doing it, but goes into how you that's one reason not have advantage in boldness who hold on and can be the ones who puts things out there rather than respect, offer sophisticated sounding criticisms. It's easy to criticize, it's true in more theoretical sense, and the route to great work is never easy. There may be some jobs where it's an advantage to be cynical or pessimistic, but if you want to do great work, it's an advantage to be optimistic, even though it means that you'll risk looking like a fool sometimes. There is an old tradition of doing opposite. The Old Testament says it's better to keep quiet lest you look like a fool. But that's advice for seemingly smart. If you actually want to discover new things, it's better to take a risk of telling people your ideas. Some people are naturally earnest, and with others it takes conscious effort. Being honest, being serious about what you're doing is important. These are the kind of earnestness in surface, but I doubt it if I would be possible to great work without being honest. It's so hard to do even if you are. If you don't have enough margin for error to accommodate the distortions introduced by affected intellectual difference. Great work is consistent not only in no day but itself. Throw things away and redo them. You won't necessarily have to, but you have to be willing to, and that can take some effort. When there is something you need to redo, status quo bias and laziness will come to keep you in the denial about it. To beat this, ask if I had already made some changes. How to work on it. Have the confidence to cut. Don't keep something that doesn't fit just because you're proud of it or because it costs you a lot of effort. Indeed, in some kinds of work, it's good to strip whatever you're doing to its essence. Have confidence to cut. Don't keep something that doesn't fit just because you're proud of it or because this is important. Mathematical elegance sound like a metaphor drawn into the art. That's why I heard that elegant applied to the proof. Now, elegance can be long term, but though. Laborious solutions will often have more prestige in short term. They cost a lot of effort and they're hard to understand. both of which impress people at least temporarily. Whereas some of the very best work will seem like it took comparatively less effort because it was in the sense of already there. It didn't have to be built or just seen. It's a very good sign when it's hard to say whether you are creating something or discovering it. When you're doing work that could be seen as either creation or discovery, or on the side of discovery, try thinking yourself as a mere conduit through which the ideas take a natural shape. Strangely enough, one exception is the problem of choosing a problem to work on. This is usually seen as search, but in the best case, it's more like creating something. In the best case, you create the field in the process of exploring it. Similarly, if you are trying to build powerful tool, make it graciously unrestricted. A powerful tool, almost by definition, will be used ways you didn't expect. So err on the side of eliminating restrictions, even if you don't know what the benefit will be. I guess we reached the point where we stopped reading yesterday, and from here you should be. Today we have to complete this thing. Alright, we got 8 more pages. Not 8 more, we got more than 8. Alright, we got 12 pages. 12, not just 12. 20. Yeah, we got more than that. Gosh. Anyways, we can complete it. Never give up. Never give up. Never fucking give up. Never fucking give up. Oh my god. So this is the 8th one. Let me get some water. It's been 52 minutes already. 52 fucking minutes. I don't know, my microphone is fucked. Am I audible? How good am I audible? Because I don't see a yellow line in here. Yeah, if I put the mic to my mouth, it will be visible, but if I put it there and speak, I barely see any yellow line. Okay. No fans, no top fans, 0 viewers. Cheers. Oh gosh. I'm wasting time on YouTube, maybe burning some chips in their data centers who are. Yeah, I'm paying for my internet bill, right? It's worth it. And I watch YouTube, so I shouldn't feel regret about wasting their bandwidth. Alright. 1 hour already. 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 Oh my god, I'm becoming an old man. Anyways, where are we? Okay, did you see that? Oh my god, you shouldn't see that. Anyways. Pitfalls to avoid is done. Let's get back to the starting on the page. Gosh. Some more water for some emotional support. Emotional support. Oh god, I'm so tired already. 1 hour is my limit, I guess. I can't go more than 1 hour speaking. But we did complete 8 pages, right? Let's get back. So, mathematical elegance may sound like a mere metaphor drawn from the arts. That's what I thought when I first heard the term elegant applied to the proof. But now I suspect it's conceptually prior. That the main ingredient in artistic elegance is mathematical elegance. At any rate, it's useful standard well beyond math. Elegance can be a long-term bet though. Laborious solutions will often have more prestige in short term. They cost a lot of effort and they are hard to understand, but both of which impress people, at least temporarily. Whereas some of the very best work will seem like it took comparatively little effort because it was in the sense of already there. It didn't have to be built, just seen. It's very good sign where it's hard to say whether you're creating something or discovering it. When you're doing work that could be seen as either creation or discovery, you're on the side of discovery. Try thinking of yourself as a mere conduit through which the ideas take their natural shape. Oh. So what is he trying to say? Mathematical elegance. What is mathematical elegance? ChatGPT, I need you. Alright. What is mathematical elegance? Quality of mathematical idea or proof or structure that combines simplicity, depth, and beauty. So simple, it must be right. Oh, it's not necessarily. Every step feels natural, inevitable once seen. You read it and think, of course, how else could it be? Depth, despite being simple, it reveals something profound and connects distance concepts. Generally, it applies to beyond immediate case. It catches actors broader truth. Pythagorean theorem extends into the product says that's elegant generally. Surprise of this. Okay. What is it? That is cool. I know I've heard it before. Simplicity, how simple it is, clarity, depth, generality, surprise, and economy of thought. The fewest assumptions or symbols do the most work. Okay. What is he saying? It may sound like a mere metaphor drawn from the art. That's what I thought when I first heard the term elegant applied to a proof. But now I suspect it's actually prior. That the main ingredient in artistic elegance is mathematical elegance. At any rate, it's useful standard well beyond math. Elegance can be long-term bet though. Yeah, elegant can be long-term bet because the solution may be complex at this point, but after solving it, it might look easy, right? So it's a long-term bet, and the various solutions will be often have more prestige in the short term. They cost a lot of effort and they are hard to understand, both of which impress people, at least temporarily. So, two things. What is he talking about is I'll just give it to this. It will explain it better. So, it's simple. Mathematical elegance is this one, right? So it's simple, it's clear, it has depth, it is general, and it got some surprising element into it, and economy of thought is very low, right? So all these things make it feel like the solution is very simple, obviously clear depth, and it feels like it doesn't impress people, right? It feels obvious. What else can it, how else can it be, right? And this is the final result, right? Laborious solutions are the ones which are like, in the short term, laborious solutions often earn prestige because they signal effort and expertise, because the solutions are complex, right? The problem is complex, the depth is heavy, and when you're trying to explain that to people, they'll see the expertise inside it, right? They'll feel the complexity and they'll get impressed in short term, right? They get impressed in short term, but in long run, elegant wins because elegance solutions age well. They remain understandable, reusable, they are more adaptable. Since simplicity tends to generalize better, they reveal deeper truth, not just technical skill. And over time, elegance feels inevitable. One seems magical to be a foundational. In music, virtuously impresses and simplicity moves. In writing, verbosity dazzles and clarity endures. In mathematics, brute force solves and elegance explains. So yes, elegance is often a long-term bet, but not. It might not earn applause today, but shapes definitely. Would you like me to expand this into a short essay or fixing something mathematics? Oh my god. Okay, I'll just write it down. And then there is short-term laboratory solutions. Good. Now, let's get back to that. Whereas some of the best work will be seeming like it took comparatively less effort because it was, in a sense, already there. It didn't have to be built, just seen. It's a very good sign when it's hard to say whether you are creating something or discovering it. When you're doing work that could be seen as either creation or discovery, or on the side of discovery, what the fuck is ER on the side of discovery? What the flock? What the flock is this? Okay, I should censor my words like this. What the flock? Motherflocker. That's funny. ERR. What's ERR? When your work is in the water of creation and discovery, choosing discovery mindset keeps your ego out and curiosity in. Okay, this is something you don't have to tell people, right? This is not really important about, I don't have to read about this. I don't care, right? So, this is okay, the solution can be laborious at this instance, but the elegance always wins. Similarly, if you're trying to build something, a powerful tool, make it graciously unrestrictive. A powerful tool, almost by definition, will be used in a ways you didn't expect. So err on the side of, what the fuck is err, bro? What the flock is err? Means to make a mistake. All right. So to lean forward to that thing, why do people use such a heavy words, right? Maybe the native peoples will understand that. I don't understand what I'm doing. Similarly, you're trying to build a powerful tool, make it graciously unrestricted. The powerful tool, almost by definition, will be used in ways you didn't expect. So lean on the side of eliminating restrictions, even if you don't know how the benefit will be. This is okay. This is important. This is unnecessary. And again, maybe this can be shortened. I don't know. Lean. Great work will often be a tool like in the sense of being something others build on. It's a good sign if you're creating ideas that others could use or exposing questions that others could answer. The best ideas have implications in many different areas. It's also a good point. Like in the sense of being something others can build on. If you express your ideas in the most general form, they'll be truer than you intended. So the elegance will create this thing. The more elegant your ideas are, the more better the people will understand and trust in it, and the more easy it will be for them to actually work on those ideas. True by itself is not enough, of course. Great ideas have to be true and new. It takes a certain amount of ability to see new ideas even once you have learned enough to get to one of the frontiers of knowledge. In English, we give this ability like originality, creativity, imagination, and it seems reasonable to give the separate name because it does seem to some extent have a separate skill. It's possible to have a great deal of ability in other respects, to have a great deal of what's often called technical ability and yet not much have of this. I've never liked the term creative process. It seems misleading. Originally, it's not a process, it's a habit of mind. Original thinkers throw off new ideas about whatever they focus on, like an angle grinder throwing off sparks. They can't help it. If the thing they are focused on is something they don't understand very well, these new ideas may not be good. One of the most original thinkers I know decided to focus on dating after he got divorced. He knew roughly as much as about dating as an average of 15-year-old, and the results were spectacularly colorful. But to see originality separated from expertise like that made his needs all more clear. What does that mean? Okay, I know original thinkers I know decided to focus on dating after he got his divorce. Okay, what does that? Why does that matter? He knew roughly as much as a 15-year-old. Okay, the results were spectacularly colorful to see an originality separated from the expertise like that. It's made of his nature. I don't know what that means. It's kind of misleading. I don't know. I can't comment on that. This guy is a great thinker. I might not be having that aptitude to actually understand those sentences. But anyways, to put it simply, it's not a creative process, right? There is nothing originality. Original thinkers throw off new ideas about whatever they focus on, like an angle grinder throwing off sparks. I don't know if it's possible to cultivate originality, but there are different ways to make the most of however much you have. For example, if you're much more likely to have original ideas when you're working on something. Original ideas don't come from trying to have original ideas. They come from trying to build something slightly too difficult. Okay, but will that be worth it? talking or writing about things you're interested in is a good way to generate new ideas. When you try to put ideas into words, a misleading idea, missing idea creates a sort of vacuum that draws it out of you. Indeed, this is a kind of thinking that can be only done by writing. Changing your context can help. If you visit a new place, you'll often find your new ideas there. The journey itself is often dislodges them. But you may not have to go far to get this benefit. Sometimes it's enough to just go for a walk. Ideas. How to get ideas, right? It also helps to travel in topic space. If you'll have more new ideas, if you explore lots of different topics, partly because it gives the angle content more surface area to work on. Partly because analogies are an especially fruitful source of new ideas. Find good ideas. You might not get original. Can find original.